المشاكل الاقتصادية لم تقتصر فقط على اللاجئين، بل جاءت أحداث باريس لتزيد الطين بلة. التقينا مؤخرا بجميل أحمد كبير محللي الأسواق بشركة FXTM لمناقشة الأثر لهجمات باريس على الاقتصاد الأوروبي على المدى القصير والمتوسط.
Absolutely. So what we saw after the Paris attack was some pressure on the global equities, specifically when equities opened up for trading on Sunday evening. But to be honest with you, there was already weights to investor sentiment. I mean, investors are concerned about the ongoing uncertainty of the Federal Reserve raising US interest rates, depressed commodity prices, China economy entering a deeper than previously expected economic downturn, and the same stagnant economic growth issues in Europe, and also Japan that morning entered a recession.
So the effect of the Paris attacks was not directly related to what we saw on the morning of the opening of the markets?
It correlated to additional pressure on the global equities, but investor sentiment was already weak anyway. Now, what I would say was that the Paris attacks, it's a background risk. Investors need to monitor to see how this recent emergence intensifies. This is what it is right now. It's a background risk.
So if we look at if we look moving forward and the future, how do we see the future after the attacks and its result and its effect on the economy and the market?
Well, we need to see whether this actually impacts consumer confidence around Europe. We know that the European economy is continually struggling with stagnant economic growth and dangerously low inflation. Now, if consumers all of a sudden stop spending because they are worried, then this would weigh additional pressure onto Europe. But on top of this, we need to look out for whether Paris now encounters less tourists than before, or whether Europe in its own might actually notice less tourists visiting.
And let's talk about the what we are expecting in December, the increase in or the interest rate from the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. How would that affect our markets and the region, and will it actually happen? Do you expect that we will see an increase?
This is fascinating because every time expectations rise that the Federal Reserve are going to raise interest rates, something happens and there's a U-turn. But now there's optimism that the Federal Reserve are finally going to carry through with their repeated pledge throughout the whole of this year to raise interest rates. Now, personally, I think this is positive for the global economy. For a central bank to be able to move forward despite all the risks elsewhere, and I'm talking about depressed commodity prices, emerging market weakness, China issues. If the Federal Reserve are able to go forward, this is positive for the global economy, and it's even more positive for holders of the UAE Dirham. How much positive is it to the UAE Dirham? We know that it's pegged to the dollar, but in the long run, how positive is it? Well, it's supported to the dollar, so it's positive to the Dirham. So we're seeing the Dirham, it's racing ahead against the euro, the Japanese yen. It's looking strong against the British pound. So my salary's purchasing power will be more. It's a very good time for you to come visit Europe. But also from an expatriate point of view, foreigners who are living in the UAE and earning dirham, they can notice that they're able to save more money, send more money back home, or maybe they can consume more domestically. And where do the commodities fall in all this? Depressed commodity prices, another fascinating story. I mean, the oil markets, they're looking very depressed, and this is adding a lot of pressure to those commodity-linked economies. Look, everybody's expecting the oil prices to bounce back at some point, but the problem is there are two different issues that are behind the fall in the price of oil. There's a repeated and aggressive oversupply in the market, and then when you've got global economic concerns, which will then weigh on demand for the commodity. Can the oil prices rebound? I think there's optimism that they need to because it's positive for the global economy. However, this aggressive oversupply, and we're talking about nearly 3 million barrels in the market, this would have to reduce. Jameel, Ahmad, thank you very much. Thank you very much.